What to do today? That's ugly. Let's fix that. Hi guys, and welcome back to Wade's Workshop. So, I've been missing for a few weeks, but I have been busy, not in the workshop. I've had plenty of work to do in the house. I've been tiling the kitchen floor and the hall floor. Loads of work in the garden. There's tiling out there. There's artificial grass, a new decking area. I've been very busy, just not in the shed. Okay, so that said, yeah, 3 weeks I haven't put up a video. And of course, now that I'm putting this one up, there is a special occasion. And I'm sure many of you know that Wade's Workshop has just passed the 10,000 subscriber mark. I'm not normally lost for words. Let's start at the beginning. I'm not a YouTuber. I'm a guy messing about in his shed that enjoys sharing his experience. I've got a full-time job away from this, which takes up, the majority of my energy, as well as, day-to-day life. And this is me having a bit of fun. And I don't take it too seriously. That said, when I started on this journey on YouTube, probably 3.5 years ago, there was no goals or targets. It was just a share thing. And over a period of time, I reached 1,000 subscribers, and that was, that was like way above and beyond anything that I set out to do. Not that I set out to do anything. And here we are, 10,000 subscribers. As I say, guys, I'm completely lost for words. All I can say is a huge thank you to all of you that have subscribed and supported and been with me along this journey. So thank you so much. And I mean that from the heart, guys. Thanks for all your support. So that said, let's do a bit of engineering, shall we? So the little adjustable stop that I made, the little universal table stop, I haven't made the new nut and what have you for here yet. I've just been utilising, what I had lying about. Okay. So, yeah, there's a standard 10mm T-nut, or 10mm threaded T-nut underneath. I've used one of, all of my clamp set and a short piece of studded. Not that happy with this. I'd like to have a thumb wheel on here. So, I think what I'm going to do is, 10mm a bit big. I'm going to drop down to 8, and I'm going to make myself a new stud, a new T-nut, and a knob to go on the end. So, in this video, I think we'll knock those up quick. I've just been rooting around in my box of offcuts of metal. Got a piece of 01 here, 10mm thick, which is roughly what these are, so that should be good stock to make up a few of these. I'll probably knock up as many as I can get. I'll cut this off here. I mean, this piece has had up all my life, but I'll cut it off here and make, as many as I can get out of there. I haven't even looked at it yet, other than that looks like a good piece of metal to do it with. I really must get myself a bandsaw, a little portable bandsaw, I think. On that subject, so yeah, new tiling outside, new decking, yeah, all completed. Pretty much the reason I've been off YouTube for a few weeks. And that corner there, let me bring you in on it. So this complete area here hasn't been touched at all. So that is going to be the extension on the extension for the workshop. So yeah, there's a dead space here. I see a shed extension on the extension coming along. So the space I just showed you is between the window there and the white wall that you can see. And it's about 5 feet. Bearing in mind my shed is, let's remember, 10, it was 12, 30, it's about 15 feet long now, by the width as you can see it, 25% more shed. And that will probably give me more room for more machinery in the future. But as I say, no desperate plans to do it immediately, but I've been given the go-ahead by the powers above to remove everything in that corner and extend the shed at some point in the future. But in the meantime, back to the saw. So So parallel in the vise. I've just run a file around this piece of metal. It's a piece of 01 silver steel. And we'll just, it's a sawn finish on here. It's an offcut from something from many moons ago. Don't know where my little copper tapper is. Never mind, little tap down onto the parallel. Parallel's tight, so let's flash this over. So I got this 50mm shell mill. I don't use it very often. I should use it more. 0.1 cut. I've got it offset off one way so that the swab's flying away from me. It flies towards the back of the bench then. Running at 750. This end mill or shell mill, it's a bit big for this mill really. I'm going to have to look out for one maybe, I don't know, maybe something around the 20-25mm range I think. And probably more appropriate for this mill. So that's one side flashed off. I'll just let that run off the end. So out the vise, deburr it, flick it over the other way. Let me just push that parallel out one side. That'll give me a space to measure the thickness. Oops. There we go. So I've got to gap this end so I can now get calipers on there when I get to give it a size. Okay. Little tap. Where is that tapper? There it is. I put it away. Okay, all good. Give it a 0.2 cut. And we'll take it down to thickness. So finishing cut now. I've just measured up the slot in the table and it measures 21mm. So I'm going to go for 20mm wide. So that should be the last 0.1 off to bring it to 20mm. So that's the overall width of the part done in this direction. This was actually 18, but I want to have a bit more grip on the underside of the key just to, you know, make it a bit more fitty. So back to a regular cutter now. I've got it on an appropriately sized parallel and flipped over on its side, so the parts are going to be coming out of it in this sort of style. Okay, so quick and dirty centering. Let's just start the cutter up. Just come down so that it's going to give me a place to touch, and I'm going to just wind across until I hear there you go, that's it, that's the cutter touching. So I'm now going to go and set a 0 in my y-axis in this direction. So I'll just do that, y0 on my DRO. Okay, so if I just come back up to the end, let me just hand wind from this end, save moving the old bang in the tripod. And I'm going to come onto this side. As I said, this is quick and dirty. It's going to be, you know, pretty close. Let's just get an eyeball on it. I think it was a bit heavy there. Wind along a bit. Right, okay, here we go. Want to hear a tick. Okay, come back off again. So I'll bring him up to my DRO now. Okay, so from my original 0, the new 0 is at that point there. It's nearly 30mm. Okay, so if I go Y half function, it just about halves that figure, as you can see. Now I'll wind the Y-axis, here we go, to the 0 point. Whoop, missed it. Hang on. Okay, so we'll come back to the milling table now. Let you see where I am. So what I did was brought the cutter down onto that shoulder there, and then step back up a millimetre, and I've offset 13mm from the centre, and I'm just going to run that cut along, as you can see, just taking it gently. So that's 13mm offset in Y. It puts a little shoulder in there, a little step, as you can see. Once I've done that, I'll offset the other way and do the same on this side, and then I'll measure the thickness and see how much it's got to come off. Split it in two and then reduce that number of 13mm by the same both sides. It'll become clear in a minute. So I'm offset 13mm the other way now, and I'll run this cut along this side. Probably go a bit faster with that bead. Okay. I'm just taking it easy, so there's no real need for coolant or lubricant at this point. If I was going for it, you know, higher speeds and beads, then I would need a bit of coolant on me. Once I get to the end now, I'll measure the thickness, or this distance here. See where we are roughly. Oh, turn the calipers on and out. 16.14. So the slot on the table is about 12.2. So I think we'll go for 12mm. So I think the next thing to do is take another 2mm cut on either side. That'll reduce that 16 to 12. We'll see where we are. I've just had a quick measure, and that actually is sort of near as habit, 12mm. So just go to that 11mm offset on the back there again, lock Y, and I know I want to come down by the final millimetre to get the shoulder at the right height. Okay, lock that. We'll speed the cutter up a little touch, and we'll depth the bottom of that shoulder. That's the bottom done on that side. Let's just let the cutter run out the end. 11 the other way again. That's it. And swap directions, and you'll probably see the cut this time. It's a bit easier to see on the front face always. Bring that into shot for you. So that's the profile, or the T-shape, done in the T-nut. The original ones do have this chamfer on the underside, or radius. Might get a little, flip it over and put a little radius on the undersides. That's just to avoid any bits of dirt and what have you that are in the T-slots. So yeah, I probably will do that next. So we'll let this cut finish. I'll probably take it out. I can't try it in the T-slot as it is. I can upside down, but I can't get it in the T-slot because it's too long. But we're going to be cutting it up anyway. So that's it. That's to depth. Actually feels... that's about right. Okay. So that's that done. Let's just stop the cutter, stop the feed. So out of the vise now. We'll give everything a clean up. We got swarf everywhere as usual. It's a good sign that you're having fun. So take the part out. Let's just take the burrs off the top here. I got a file? Yes, I got a file to hand. Let's just break the edges, that's all I'm doing. Let's just my inch shot there, not quite. Let's bring you down. Right, okay, let's try it in a T-slot. That's a good fit in there. There we are. So I've already put a chamfer on the other side. And with this 30-degree cutter, there's a 30-degree bevel on the bottom of the cutter. I'm just running the one on the other side, the side that you can see. So that's replicating pretty much the sort of thing that's on the bottom of the existing one, as you can see there. I'm just going to clean up one end, or both ends actually, and then saw the first two off. Just using that same cutter. Nearly there. Okay, that's one end done. Pop it back out the vise. Pop it in the other way. Lock it down. Now let's just clean up the other end. Oh, what am I locked on? Oh, I see. Okay. Sometimes the little locks get caught on the bed of the machine. That's what happened there. Okay, that's given me two square edges. So I suppose now I'm going to scribe a line and cut off a block off either end, the width that we're going to need, and it looks like I'm going to get, let's have a little look, probably 1, 2, yeah, I'll get 4 off it. What I might do is cut it in half. I don't mind if they're a bit longer than the originals. I'll cut it in half, then machine the cut faces, and then cut them in half again and machine the 4 cut faces. And I'll be able to maximise the length then. So yeah, I think that's what I'll do. So let's have a quick look. Turn the calipers on. 88, so let's go 44. Scribe a line there, scribe a line there. And I'm going to cut it in half. I'm sure you don't want to see me sawing again. So having cut it in half, I'll just clean up the saw cut on both of them. And then I'll cut those in half as well. So that's the first one done. Let me just mark a half. Should be somewhere around 44. 43. 43. So 21 and a half. Okay, we'll scribe a line there from either end, and that's my next cut point. So up with the second one of the two, just hang him out the vise, make sure the parallels out the way, and a quick tickle with this one, bring it off, come in. So I've taken the block that appears to be the shortest. I've got my stop in position with the finger against the previously machined face. And I'm just going to machine this one to a clean up. Nearly there, a little bit more. Okay, that should do it. I've got a 0 there, let me just set a 0. That's a 0 on my DRO. little brush. Okay, take that one out. I've deburred the ends of all these. In fact, I missed a bit on that one. Let's just get a file. That's better. Put the next one in, up to the stop, lock the vise. I'll come off a bit in X, as that was the shortest one. And I'll machine all four this way, and then they'll all be the same length. There's 0.4 left to come off. Okay, so other than champering all around them, that's the 4 T-nuts, the machining part done. Just got to drill and tap a hole centrally now. Yeah, it's going to be M8. Yes, it's going to be M8. End of story, really. So I've just picked up the centre of this first part with a wobble pin and 6mm spotting drill. Again, got the block up against the stop. So just spot that. I'll just stop that cut up for safety. That part out. Next one in. Up against the stop, holding it down, lock the vise, onto the next one. So 4 to do like this. You get the picture. Out with that one. Up against the stop, lock it off, away to go. So next step is going to be, leave this last one, I actually did one off camera. The next step, got the collet to the ready, 6.8 drill, ready to drill the tapping drill size for M8. Okay, just a quick look at the parallels. Yeah, they're good, we're going to miss those. Switch them off, good clean out. And there we go. Swap to the next one. And off to go again. So I've got my spring-loaded tap point there in the chuck, or in the collet I should say. Bit of cutting compound, M8 tap, just a little bit of pressure, and just getting these started by hand. Ooh. Now this is a taper tap, and that should do, just to get the tap started square. This is a taper tap, and if I tap through basically to a depth where I've got about 5mm of thread sticking out, it'll leave a little bit of tapered thread in the bottom of the nut, and that'll stop the screw or bolt or whatever we use going right through this nut and onto the bed of the table. So we want the load to be on the nut, not between the, onto the table as it were. So yeah, we don't tap these all the way through. So quick jump to the lathe now. And we've got this piece of brass. It's already got an 8mm hole drilled up it. So that's ideal. So just to face off there, let's just do a touch here. Maybe, I don't know, 0.2 side off. Let's set a 0 on that depth, and I'll face that out. So I'm looking for a diameter on this little register here of 10mm, 11.16. Okay, another 0.5 aside. Oh, too much. Let's take 0.4 aside. Let's see where that is. Should be about 10.2, I guess. 10.37. Okay. Let's take 0.15 aside. Just space out there again. Okay, let's just clean up this OD. Touch more. And again, a bit faster. This is basically a washer. Right, let's have a little chamfer on the underside. Like that. We'll have one down on there. Like that. I think the hole is deep enough. Yes, it is. So, parting tool at the ready. Slow down a touch. Looks about enough for head thickness. I'll put this back up and dress this space I'm parting in a moment. There we go. So, back to the turning tool. Let's take that out of the chuck. Just hold it on that little register there. Can't hold it that tight. Just face this. Touch more. Happy days. Chamfer on the outside edge again. Chamfering tool. Nice big one on here. That'll do me. Get the Noga, chamfer that, and that in real time is my little washer made. So as we had a 10mm hole in here originally, we now got an 8mm bolt. That little washer sits in there. It'll protect the surface of the aluminium and it'll locate the part on the 8mm bolt. I've got an 8mm bolt here. There we go. Happy days. Now I was tempted to make a knob to go on this, you know, a handle with maybe a lever or what have you, but I've always got the Allen keys to hand, so I think I'm going to stick with this 8mm bolt, and I may have to shorten it down and have that as the fastening, because it does want to be tight on the table. I don't know if I could use the hand wheel, whether I get a big enough one to lock it solid, because we don't want this thing moving and everything else is solid, so I want the base solid as well. So just a quick check that the bolt isn't too long. No, it doesn't hit the base of the T-slot. So I should be able to take my nut now, put the nut in the T-slot, tighten down the bolts. Whoops, throw stuff everywhere. What was that? Oh, the old 10mm stud. And that is locked. Yeah, I think that looks a lot better, doesn't it? And there we are, all fitted up. I've chemical blued or blackened the nuts, so I've got the finished part and 3 spare nuts for future projects. So yeah, the 10,000 subscriber video. Much happier with that little table stop now that it's got the new setup up on it. It looks a lot better. So I did reveal a bit earlier on the extension or prospective extension to the workshop. Yeah, I mean, every square inch of room's going to help, and that'll give me another probably more than a quarter, but probably not a third more. But yeah, let's say 28% more workshop. Right, okay. That said, thanks again for watching, guys. Thank you so much for subscribing, and we will see you all very soon. Cheers now. Coffee. Saturday afternoon. Coffee. I should be in the pub. I really should be in the pub.